Hello, welcome to UMR, and this is our review for Mrs. Paradigm's Home for Unfortunate Events.
It's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Miss Peregrine's Home for X-Men.
No,
No?
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
Oh, sorry, Professor Xavier's Home for Peculiar Children.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
What he said. Internet.
Today we're reviewing Miss Penisville's Home for Peculiar Anus Holes.
Yep, what he said. We're reviewing Mrs. Puttersnatch's Home for Peculiar Children.
Miss Peanut Butter's Home for Penultimate.
Penultimate. Okay, we're done. Moving on. Joke got old. So the way this works is I call him Billy as Billy as Mark. And we're going to be reviewing this movie, and we're going to tell you what it's about, and then we're going to tell you what we liked about it, and then we'll tell you what we didn't like about it.
Yeah, sure. First,
there you
do
go.
The likey and the subscribey.
Do the internet shit,
yeah, we're
fuckos!
On Facebook, we're on Twitter. Have we tweeted anything?
Oh, God, I don't even know.
Yeah, well, we are on Twitter.
I got a new phone 2 new phones ago and didn't download Twitter. So this is the second new phone I haven't. So
maybe Twitter's not the review.
Yeah, whatever. So go on Facebook and find us there.
Movie reviews.
Unprofessional movie reviews.
We
so
have a publicist for that shit.
So this is a Tim Burton movie with Eva Green being a chick with abilities who has a school for kids with other abilities, and Asa Butterfield, aka not Spider-Man, learns about it.
Yeah.
And there's bad guys who are not Magneto, that, don't like them.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right. The only actor from this movie that I recognized was Terrence Stamp, so... and Samuel L. Jackson. But...
Really? I got a couple. I got a couple that I don't know their names of.
That's all
but
I got.
The dad was...
Brought it down.
Yeah, was IT Crowd / other stuff. And he's...
Bridesmaids.
And he's a great Bridesmaids. Okay, let's go right to positives. And I actually got a few.
You did the plot synopsis. So.
Didn't I just do that?
No.
Yeah, I did. I just
said it's X-Men.
No, I said it's Asa Butterfield goes and she has at school and there's bad guys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, do you? All right, fine. I'll get more into it.
No, that's okay.
And there's a time bubble that they're in that's stuck in 1943, and so he goes through the time bubble and learns about the school and learns about other stuff, and then there's a crisis.
Okay.
Better?
Yeah.
You can say more if you want.
Young man learns about a peculiar thing that nobody really believes in because they just thought that his grandpa was crazy. But just like in Transformers, it turns out that his uncle was actually onto something, or his grandpa was actually onto something. So he decides to follow up after his grandpa's murder because his grandpa's murder gave him some last words, and they involved Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children in a very vague way. So he goes to track down this thing that had something to do with his grandpa's death, runs into these weirdos, and then finds out that they're all in danger, and he's the only one that can help, and then plot happens.
Yep. And then the bad guy tries to get one that can absorb his powers, and then lets him absorb that power, and then tries to turn all the world leaders into mutants.
No, that's...
Oh, no, that's X-Men. All right, moving on. All right, done with the X-Men jokes. I had to get one more out. Positives.
Eye candy. Lots of eye candy.
Very pretty movie. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. This is... I think Burton... This is probably one of his prettier movies recently that isn't too...
Oh, his usual fans are just going to be...
Yeah. But at the same time,
15 years.
He's not going as hardcore and stylized as what he has in the past in the last 5 years. I feel like he did dial it down, but not.
I feel like the closest thing to this would either have to be... even Alice in Wonderland wasn't... it was close to his usual, but not quite there.
Yeah.
This is probably the most Tim Burton-y thing you'll see since, I don't know. Corpse Bride.
Yeah, I was gonna say Corpse Bride.
I think Big Fish was him too, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, no, this is probably closer to Big Fish.
Yeah.
And I like Big Fish a lot. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely,
I love Big Fish.
It's definitely not the worst. It's definitely in the top 4 or 5 of his movies. But yeah, I mean, clearly his best was Big Adventure. But anyways, Pee-wee's. But yeah, he's not going as hardcore as being, all right, we get it, it's Tim Burton.
Right.
But every once in a while he reminds you, and that's really nice.
Does this involve skeletons somehow, or
yeah?
The main actor in the movie looks like a Tim Burton character.
Oh God, does
naturally, he looks like eggs.
Oh
yeah,
thank you. But that was Burton. But he looked
Burton-esque.
Yeah, but that was very Burton-esque. You're right on that. Okay, I had to burp. Other positives, the little we see him, and it's going to be a negative for both of these. You don't see them much, but I really like Eva Green as Miss Peregrine, and I really like
Miss Laura Dern.
Laura Croft, and I really liked Samuel L. Jackson. My negative is I didn't get enough of them, but Samuel L. Jackson can camp. He can cheese camp all over your face. And that's the
role. Why is he always a villain in camp?
I don't know, but he can villain camp.
Spirit.
He can fail at villain camp like in Spirit, but he can succeed
him in Spirit.
Okay, I liked him, but that movie sucked.
That movie did suck.
Or good villain camp. Kingsman was amazing villain camp.
I didn't get the lift.
I didn't get the lift either, but I liked it. I mean, I had nothing to get that. Why do you talk so funny? Yeah, but I think that he nailed it. There's definitely script problems with his character precisely that I'm going to have a talk about. But now, if you want to cut loose, if you need a character to cut loose and just buy into your ridiculous shit, that's who you get. That's who you get. And they got him, and it was great. And Eva Green's right up there. She doesn't. I don't think she understands what she's saying because she can say ridiculous bullshit and just keep that hey, Eva Green face. I'm so attracted to that old lady. She's not that old, but she's older than me. I'm so attracted to that lady. Oh yeah. Paradigm.
Pigglewiggle.
Miss Piggy.
Miss Pigglewiggle.
Miss Pigglewiggle.
Yeah.
I'm Mrs.
For those of you, that's a throwback. If you don't know who Miss Pigglewiggle is.
Okay, but yeah. Anyways, liked her. Do you got one? Because I got another.
I liked the set dressing. The pub was cool and looked really familiar. Like, it reminded me a lot of the Winchester from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, but a little... It's funny because they might not have nailed the Welsh accent, which I agree with you. But they nailed Welsh.
Weird Cockney kids in the village, but they had, instead of having Welsh accents...
They had Cockney accents.
But, yeah.
But they nailed Wales, though. I really loved it.
Very good atmosphere. The house, Miss Peregrine's house, was gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful old house. Yeah, and the carnival part of it and the zoo, the circus part was really cool too.
I think DOP nailed it for a lot of things because there's a lot of really, really cool, interesting. I'm not saying pretty, but interesting camera shots, like going out of a window to go see something down here, like really cool stuff like that. Or you're chasing somebody in the. It chases you through a doorway and then up and then over. Like, really kind of interesting shots that are like, you worked way too hard for that shot type shots. Where it's like, I probably took 2 hours to get done and all it was showing somebody walk, And I always enjoy shots like that. I mean, it doesn't fix the movie or help much, but at least they're putting in the effort. And then, do you got another? Because I got one more.
I'm done.
I like the music. Half the time. Specifically, third act action music. If you remember exactly what was going on, it was like cool, guitar-y, but it wasn't too over the top, and it captured me, and it got me more into the scene, and that's what music's for.
Sure. That would make a smooth segue to my negatives, though. The exact scene that you're talking about, that song sticks out like a sore thumb in the soundtrack.
Yeah, but I liked it.
It's the only modern-ish song.
Yeah, you're right.
And I fucking hate that.
Yeah, you're not. You're definitely allowed to. Yeah, and you're right on that because a lot of it's very.
Right.
And then it's like like almost
Mad Max Fury Road.
It was like dubstep without
flames.
the break. I kept thinking it was gonna dubstep in because it sounded like right before just yeah. It was just right before the drop. but I enjoyed it. But you're right. It definitely had nothing to do with the rest of the soundtrack.
Yeah, the sound editing for this movie. I don't know if it was our theater, but it was really quiet.
It might have been our theater.
It might have been
because that's not the first time where we've had a problem because of it.
It's also not the first movie that's been too quiet though.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So it could be either one. I'm gonna go ahead and blame the theater though.
Because I remember Out of the Shadows, our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, there was a huge problem at the beginning. Man. They didn't have any audio, but even once they got the audio, it was like you're watching it on a big TV without the sound bar where the music was loud and the guy's talking. So we didn't know who to blame on that.
Right.
And this time it wasn't as bad, but it definitely like people were.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
What was that?
There weren't enough peculiar children.
No, not at all. And even the ones that they had, especially the cool ones,
you only got to see for like a second.
4 seconds. Like, yeah.
And the Gorgons.
Yeah. Now, he'll say Gorgons, and then I'm going to talk about, and if I bring up these characters, I'm not going to spoil which ones are Gorgons. But yeah, there's definitely characters who we had no idea what their power was, and it was an Ex Machina at the end, and those are the Gorgons. And then we had characters who had really awesome powers sometimes. And then we had the Jean Grey problem where it was like, we have one tiny little niche. Well, his powers can do that. Yeah. Really? Okay.
Right.
And that's definitely a big problem, but I did like, they did have, and I always, one of my biggest pet peeves for X-Men was, and this isn't a movie, I mean comics-wise, is why out of all the random, infinite possibilities, do you keep getting like not only the same powers, and that's an X-Men problem, but useful powers.
Right, exactly. There's one guy that can just project images from his eyes.
And that ain't useful. And I liked that.
And
that's a positive.
That's tries to be useful, and it doesn't work.
Yeah,
and that's a positive.
And that's a positive that I just now remembered because and there was the kid with the mouth on the back of her head that you see in the trailers. They ain't useful.
Yeah, but they tried to make her useful and tried to make it successful.
She bites somebody once. Woo!
Because when someone tries to grab you, they're going to grab you like this.
Yeah. And no, they weren't even going for her. They were going for somebody else, and she just happened to be looking the other way next to him.
And then her big mouth in the back of her head bites.
That she has to move the hair out of.
That was lame.
She's no way going to succeed as an X-Men, but
as a P-Man.
Yeah, she's going to die immediately.
Yeah,
like, Sentinels are going to fuck her up. But those are a little bit of positives, but at the same time, it's kind of
dumb. There was some stuff that was being passed off as being useful or being appropriate for children, and I don't usually get on the soapbox about this. Holy fuck, was this gory?
Shit,
it was so gory.
I can't believe this movie's is it PG? It can't be anywhere past 13.
Can't be G.
But yeah, it can't be G.
No.
But if it's 13, it earned it.
But I
cringed during a scene where they're just like doing fucked up stuff. The bad guys are.
There's a character, his mutation is literally to be a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
And to create little Frankenstein's monsters that can murder each other.
Yeah, that's literally his...
And everybody's like, isn't this cool? And he's like, yeah, that's really cool. But now, it's not. It's really messed up.
Now, the problem with that is what I like to call undefined on purpose, where they don't tell you anything, so they can do whatever they want with them. And that is, he, has hearts somehow...
Puts them in bodies and
puts them in inanimate objects.
But at one point he actually ventriloquizes his dead friend.
Yeah, actually brings his dead friend back to life.
No, he doesn't. He just ventriloquizes.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing. That was probably one of my favorite scenes because it was so good God, bro! And I like that they went through that.
They were so close when the kid was alive, though. That's what makes it messed up.
And that's kind of what I liked about that character. But yeah, you're right. There's definitely, but here's my problem: is and this is what I was saying with the undescribed, and so he can put hearts into things that wouldn't be able to physically move around.
Yeah,
that means skeletons with zero muscle mass. How the hell are they running around with strength?
Also,
because they have a heart.
Numerous characters in this movie that don't have eyes being able to see.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine if you describe it. You would give me one little dialogue like, "Oh, he can smell us," or even without
they didn't
telling
have noses either. But
yeah,
I
yeah,
get
or
what you're saying,
yeah,
but
or
they
without
didn't.
explaining how like they can sense our whatever heartbeats. Okay, at least they said that out loud.
Yeah.
And speaking of saying too much shit out loud, they don't describe that, but holy exposition first act. First act's probably my favorite.
I was gonna give this movie, like, after the first 30 minutes, I was gonna give this movie a positive for world building.
Super positive. Yeah, I was really happy with the first act.
But then the second and third act, negative for world
Third act
building.
wasn't as big as a problem because I liked
negatives for
well, no, I got huge negatives with the third act. You know, I'll get to them.
No, I mean the world building.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we'll get to those too. But I enjoyed the first act a lot. And the second act was a sandwiched, like, 4 minutes. It was like, okay, now let's just live with what we've learned. All right, gotta go.
Yeah, it was basically like I'm gonna walk out, I'm gonna go back in. And that was the middle.
The second act was literally 5 minutes, if not less.
Yeah.
Like, because the way it goes, acts are not times. It's teach us things, show us things, climax. And it was teach us things, choose a climax.
And then denouement.
Yeah, and then climax, and we're going to be over here, and then we're going to keep talking about shit. But yeah, exposition heavy the first act is. It's like, instead of telling us anything, or show us anything for the longest time, they're like, what's this beautiful set piece? Hey, look, a beautiful set piece.
Yeah.
The way that can happen is because of na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Thank you, random character. Moving on. What's this? Well, it just keep telling us. Show us.
Yeah.
And then when they actually need to describe things, they don't. The girl's floaty flying air control powers fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how anything works.
Lead shoes.
Yeah.
They're not heavy.
or does she just have calf muscles of fucking
I guess.
centaur like?
But then the kid hands her the shoes with one hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually pretty sure he
The
tosses
fucking
them to her.
normie just hands them to her with one hand.
Almost normie.
Yeah.
Again, the main character's got one of those powers that are plot. Like, hey, I'm helping the plot right now. That's my power. If you guys need this plot figured out.
Oh yeah, and he had the same mutation as his grandpa.
Which, I guess. I mean, we haven't got into enough of how.
Right, but still, why doesn't his dad have it?
Now, story...
Sometimes it skips a generation.
My biggest negative is just inconsistent, wishy-washy rules.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, like, these are the rules. Let's break them!
Yeah.
And that's what it constantly was, is I was like, but how are they going to be able to... But
if you're gonna have time travel elements in your movie, you have to have clear-cut, defined rules.
Yes.
And if you're gonna have aberrants, like, you can have aberrants, that can be a thing, but fucking define it. You can't just say, like, these are the rules, but they don't apply to us.
They did do plenty of describing after they changed things.
Yeah.
They're like... I'm like, but how are they doing that right now?
It was always,
by the way, I know you didn't ask,
exactly.
but we're doing this because of this and this and this.
It was always like, while they're moving, like, oh, by the way, we're walking and talking, this is the thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, first off, you're British. A majority of the audience isn't going to understand you in the first place. 2, you're talking really fast. 3, you're out of breath and you're, like, mush-mouthing it. So... you've lost 90% of your audience, in America at least, right there.
Yeah, I mean, we were breaking cardinal rules of talking during the movie a lot, and I hate breaking that rule, but I wouldn't have been able to review it if you didn't help me help me understand things, and I didn't help you understand things.
Yeah.
Because there was plenty of times where you needed 4 ears to figure out what the hell was going on.
Exactly.
And that's a major problem, when I was like, but wait, are they still in this time?
Right.
And then he goes, no. And then he goes, but what's wrong with this now? And I'm like, oh, this and this.
Right.
That shouldn't be that way.
No.
And this is a kid's movie. Kids should be able to understand this.
And that's the beauty of eye candy.
Yeah, that's the beauty of caring too much about how pretty your shot is and not caring about its form over function. Yes, form over function. With all the exposition, they still don't tell us everything. Mm-hmm. Like, that's Jupiter Ascending all fucking over again.
Yeah.
In Jupiter, this movie's not as bad as Jupiter Ascending. I'm going to say that right now. Jupiter Ascending was a giant pile of steaming crap. This movie's just bad in my eyes. And it's not even the worst bad I've ever seen. But I got a closing statement, and that is, with these problems, I could watch this movie again because it was charming when I needed it.
I would watch it again.
Okay, you don't have to. But if my fiance wants to watch it, I will gladly sit and watch it with her.
That'll be one of our alone time movies where she can watch something and I'll watch something else.
But that's why it kind of killed me, because I actually was rooting for this movie because I liked the first act a lot. The grandpa scene, like, I was actually kind of like, whoa, I'm a little sucked in. I got sucked in the first, 15 minutes, and then it started to shit on my face, and I kept being like, nope, the shit doesn't smell that bad, just get over it. And then after the whole rest of the movie, I'm like, all right, fine, I'm going to smell like shit, but I'm going to try to find the positives, and even though I'm not going to give this a fresh score, I'm going to say I still liked it.
I was not engaged by this movie until we got to the home. Didn't care about it at all until that moment. One thing I should say, have you seen Spiderwick Chronicles?
Mm-mm.
You should watch Spiderwick Chronicles. Because everything that this movie did wrong, Spiderwick Chronicles got right. So I recommend you see Spiderwick Chronicles. I haven't seen it since 2008,
Okay.
2007. Whenever it came out is when I saw it. But check out Spiderwick Chronicles.
Let's do our reviews, and then let's do a segment we always forget, which is our what we are going to suggest and throw in the description.
Okay.
Go ahead
first.
Okay, as I said, this didn't make fresh, but I was still rooting for it so much. I'm giving it probably higher than he is. I'm giving it 4 out of 10 head mounts. Back head mounts. I should have wrote back because a normal mount's a head mount. But it's the other head mount.
This is a face mount.
Yeah, face mount. Thank you.
Yeah.
Head mount, face mount.
Well, you're going to be surprised because I gave this movie 4 out of 10.
Nice!
Weird, fucked up sociopaths who like to make Frankenstein's monsters that battle each other to death. And he's got jars of organs behind him. There's testicles right there, and ovaries, and lungs, or a brain. There's a penis there. So, I didn't see any penises in this movie, but I won't say they weren't there.
What the fuck? Okay, and I drew a cock too. Yeah, you all of a sudden turned into super bad Jonah Hill, and I just had to
Drawing dicks all the time.
Okay. I'm currently watching Luke Cage, so I'm going to throw that up. If you guys aren't watching Luke Cage, the new Netflix Marvel movie or TV show dropped about 12 hours ago. No, more than 12 hours ago. Dropped 2 a.m. But anyways, I'll put the description of the first 2 episode reviews on there. And go ahead. What do you want?
I want you to watch our review of Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead. Yeah. Which I'm excited because our local theater is actually playing that
black
in
and white.
black and white. We watched the
colorized
colorized version. I do want to make a date of that. Let's go watch a movie without having to talk about it right afterwards because we already viewed it. I do want to make a date and watch that because I'd never seen Night of the Living Dead huge in the theater. And I remember my grandma. Never mind. This is a conversation between us. I'll tell him. Bye!
Bye. Yeah.